This is the incredible true story of how Steve Jobs' childhood shaped him into the visionary we know today. Imagine being abandoned at birth, placed in the care of people who didn't even finish high school, and then growing up to revolutionize the world. In post-World War II America, Paul Jobs, a tough yet gentle Coast Guard veteran, met Clara Hagopian, a cheerful woman looking to rebuild her life after losing her first husband to the war. Settling in San Francisco, their simple dream was just to build a family. But fate had other plans. Unable to have biological children due to Clara's health complications, the couple turned to adoption. In early 1955, Joanne Schiebel, a young woman from a strict German-American family, found herself pregnant by Abdul Fattah Jandali, a Syrian doctoral student. Her family's disapproval forced her to give up her child under one condition: the adoptive parents had to be college graduates. Joanne initially refused to approve the adoption. It took weeks before she finally agreed, but only after Paul and Clara promised to create a college fund for Steve. Growing up, Steve Jobs was always aware of being adopted. At 6 years old, when a neighbor's child bluntly asked him if being adopted meant his real parents didn't want him, it triggered a deep emotional crisis. His parents reassured him, saying with deliberate emphasis, "We specifically picked you out." This statement profoundly shaped Jobs' self-perception. Abandoned, yet chosen. Jobs' early years in suburban Mountain View, California, were seemingly typical. His father, Paul, a meticulous mechanic, tried to share his passion for craftsmanship and precision. Although Steve was less interested in car mechanics, he deeply admired his father's dedication to quality, even in hidden details. The neighborhood they lived in was no ordinary suburb. It sat right at the heart of what would become Silicon Valley, buzzing with military contractors and tech innovators. Young Steve, inspired by his surroundings, had his first brush with electronics through his father's junkyard trips and through influential neighbors, like engineer Larry Lang, who showed him the wonders of technology firsthand. At 8 years old, Steve experienced a life-changing realization. When his neighbor Larry Lang demonstrated a simple electronic setup that Steve's father wrongly insisted needed an amplifier, Steve discovered for the first time that his father could be wrong, and that he himself could be smarter. This was both exhilarating and unsettling. Jobs later confessed, "When I realized that I was smarter than my parents, I felt tremendous shame for having thought that." This realization, combined with the complexity of his adoption, shaped Steve Jobs profoundly. He grew up feeling uniquely special and yet emotionally detached. Friends and colleagues later reflected that Jobs' relentless desire for perfection, control, and innovation stemmed directly from his childhood experiences of abandonment and selection. Despite these internal struggles, or perhaps because of them, Jobs went on to change the world through Apple, always driven by that early lesson from his parents. He was chosen, special, meant to do extraordinary things. Steve Jobs' early life teaches us a powerful lesson. Our beginnings don't define our destiny, but how we interpret them does. If you found inspiration in Steve Jobs' incredible childhood journey, hit like, subscribe, and comment below on what story you'd love us to share next. Remember, everyone has a story. Make yours stick.